Hi, and welcome to this video. This video is about car paint and body work and what not to do. Anyway, I'm standing here at an overlook and I just got done with the last video. This is the Angostura rec area near Hot Springs, South Dakota. Anyway, so I'm standing out here and I thought I'm going to pull together this next video. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about my car a little bit and car paint, body work. I'm not too sure I can tell you what to do, but I can tell you what not to do. Okay, like I said, I'm standing out here at the overlook, and I thought while I do the next video, I could stand here and just look at the gorgeous overlook and the gorgeous scenery. It's getting dark. They're starting to get dark. I have been here last couple days. I was here yesterday, but I did not make it up to the overlook. I was here the day before and didn't make it up to the overlook. Yesterday it started raining on me. Day before, I just didn't make it. Anyway, this morning it started raining on me both days, yesterday and this morning. Anyway, so one of the reasons I came out here, I was just exploring, and I came out here, and while I was here yesterday, it's kind of started as a fluke. I have these little side view blind spot mirrors on my mirrors, but only on the driver's side. Well, lo and behold, it got old, I guess, and it fell off. So I go to the store here. There was two. CarQuest only had one, so I ran around the corner to another place called Sturdivant's. I found another one. Well, they're not exactly the same. Well, anyway, I kind of like the ones that I got at Sturdivant's better than CarQuest. Both were real cheap. First one was like a little over $2. Second, like $2.23. Second one was like $1.27. So not really that much. Anyway, I like the Sturdivant's, the cheap one, the $1.27 one, a little better. Well, anyway, so I get those onto my mirror. Now, wouldn't you know it, of course, they're kind of crooked and they're a little bit cattywampus. Well, anyway, but they're stuck to the mirror, and first I cleaned the mirror. First, I had to clean all the glue from the old side view blind spot mirror off. So I got all that off, and then I stuck the other two on. Anyway, of course, like I said, they're cattywampus and they're kind of crooked, but best I can see, they work. They work okay. They'll have to. I made the mistake of buying a square one, though. The one that was on there before was square, and I made the mistake of buying another square one. And if I had to do it over, I wouldn't buy square. I'd buy a round one because I think it might be, for me, a little bit easier. The first place, CarQuest, had a round one, but they only had one. If they had had two, I might have purchased them because, it's two. But anyway, so that's how it got started. Then while I was at it, I decided I would do a little bit more updating, upgrading, fixing, if you will. That's not always a good idea, but I did it. A few weeks ago, I shared, and this is a video from quite a ways back, about a month and a half or so ago, where I ran into a ditch and I put an Ouchie on the front of my car, and that's how she's now named Ouchie, or she's earned the name Ouchie. Anyway, it put a little spot on the front bumper, a little crinkle. I painted that, fixed that. There was some other little scrapes and scratches right at the edge of the bumper that were on there when I bought the car, and I fixed that the first time. Well, yesterday, when I hit the ditch a few weeks ago, it pushed the grill up a bit. So it was, not flush. It wasn't flat and flush with the fiberglass bumper as like it should. And I knew then, I figured, okay, I'll put a little bit of glue on it. That'll work. Well, and it does, or mostly did. Well, anyway, so I put the glue on. It adhered and bonded to part of it. It bonded, but the other part I had to put extra glue, and it just didn't bond really well. So it kind of did, but it kind of didn't, but it's better than it was. Anyway, now here comes the problem. Some super glue got down on the paint. Now, I probably should have Googled this before I started gluing the grill, but, I didn't. I'm guilty of, I'm like my dad, I'm guilty of not reading directions, not looking anything up, and not knowing. And just jerry-rigging it, or, figuring I'll fix it. Anyway, glue got down on the bumper. Now, I wiped the glue off as soon as it hit the bumper, and I got it all off, or I got most of it off, or at least I thought I got most of it off. And of course, after I wiped it down, I got some, wet paper towels, and kept soaking it down to get any excess off the bumper. Unfortunately, it discolored the paint a bit. And so you can imagine I wasn't real happy with this. I'm not as obsessive as I used to be, but obviously I wasn't too happy with that. It discolored the paint a bit, and I was not happy about that. And so I did the only thing that I knew to do, and I didn't really look at, well, actually, I Googled it this morning, and you can put acetone, nail polish remover, on super glue, and it will take it off. Unfortunately, on paint, it will pretty much, at least from what I read online, it will pretty much strip the paint. So, and then you're left with, if it strips the paint, then you've got to prime it and everything. You got to you got to clean it, prime it, paint it, base coat, top coat, or clear coat. So anyway, main thing is you got to prime it and do all that. Well, if I start trying to do all that stuff, I'm thoroughly going to mess it up and end up just having to take the car to the body shop and pay the $500 for a bumper. Anyway, so, I mean, I got full coverage. My apologies there. I've got full coverage on my car, but, still, I've got a $500 deductible. And even if I didn't, even if I had a lower deductible like $250, I'd still have $250 to $500 out of pocket. So, anyway, $500 out of pocket to fix a mess that I made. Well, anyway, so I do the one thing that I have done in the past, and it's worked fairly well. I still had some paint left over I bought paint a few weeks back at Ford, and I bought this paint when I first got the car and started driving it. I went to Ford and I got some paint, because that's the only place that you can order it now. Basically, you can't go to you could go to the stores like Advance Auto and AutoZone and just find your paint color, and whatever, but you can't anymore. You can find a little bit, but for the most part you can't. You got to go to the dealership and give them the VIN number and get the paint that way. So that's what I did. I went to Ford, gave them my VIN, and I had to order the paint. Anyway, so I still had some paint left over, quite a bit actually. I had touched up the front low part of the bumper a few weeks ago when I banged the bumper, because it had some scratches and some scruffs down at the bottom from when I bought it. Was there when I bought the car. But anyway, so I did what I thought would work, and I covered it up with paint. So I cleaned, now mind you, I cleaned off the super glue. I cleaned it off, or at least I cleaned it off as much as I thought it was off. But obviously it's still going to leave, even though I cleaned it and washed it and everything, it's still going to leave a little bit of residue. I guess there's no way to keep from having residue unless you put on that nail polish remover or acid or something to just basically strip it off. And I didn't want to I definitely, even if I'd already read that, I don't want to do that. So I painted over it now, and it didn't look bad. And in fact, there's only one little spot on the front bumper that's not that bad, and I will show you that if you can see it. It's hard to see. It's getting darker now, but and I had to put it on pretty thick. So anyway, I painted it yesterday, and I left it overnight, and I painted over it. Now there's a couple little discolored spots where I guess not as much glue or not as much residue were, and it painted over. I guess I got it off, but it still discolored it. Anyway, so I painted over all of the discolored spots. And there's one little section, probably about maybe 4 inches long or something, or 3 inches long. It's not too much. And I painted over it, and then I left it overnight. And I had to put on the paint pretty thick. But, well, I painted it yesterday. Anyway, this morning I came back out here, and I decided, because there's nobody here in the middle of the day. you know, or earlier in the day. Nobody's here. So I came back out here and I looked at it and I went, you know what? I looked at it at the truck stop. I came back out here. I looked at it and I went, you know what? It's not quite, needs just a little more paint. Anyway, so I painted over it again, and I had to make the paint pretty thick. I had to lay it on pretty thick to really, I guess you'd say cover it maybe, or make it look halfway decent. Anyway, so I put it on pretty thick, and I unfortunately yesterday I think I got maybe one spot or a spot or two of paint onto the grill, the chrome. There's nothing I can do about that. I tried to wipe it off as soon as I saw it, but it didn't all come off. So it's barely noticeable. I'm not going to worry about it. There's not a lot I can do. I could probably take something later and try to maybe scrape it off, but I don't want to start making bigger messes, so I really don't want to do that. So and it's paint, it'll probably, it was yesterday, it'll probably, over time, it will more than likely fade. And so I'm not going to worry much about that. I bonded the grill back to the bumper, so I got that done. And pretty much, there's still one little spot that didn't bond as well as I'd hoped. And after I did it, I kind of wish that I hadn't have. But anyway, kind of wish I'd just left it the way it was. But too late to cry over the spilled milk now. It's already spilled. Anyway, well, here's the kicker. Today I decided to add, which I've never done before because I've never really seen the need to, but today I decided to add a clear coat because it looked good. I mean, not good, but it looked, you know, it was okay. Wasn't bad. But this morning I decided to add a little bit of clear coat. I thought that might make it look a little better. You know, it wouldn't be, you know, look a little better. And then sure enough, it did. It actually helped. It made it a little shinier, which is a really good thing. So the clear coat did. I'm pleased. I'm pleased with when I added the clear coat. What I didn't know, and here's the kicker, there was a couple spots right at the edge of the grill that meets the bumper that I could not paint. There was no way I could paint it without getting paint all over the grill, so I had no choice but just to kind of leave it. It was white, and it had turned to a kind of a crusty white from the super glue, and I read online that super glue will turn paint kind of white. Mine just discolored a little bit, I guess because I got it off pretty fast. But anyway, but up at the edge, it did kind of turn white. But the kicker, when I put that clear coat on, because the clear coat is clear, I was able to put the clear coat right up at the edge against the grill, and I was even able to get the small little sponge kind of under. There's a couple spots where it bonded but didn't bond quite tight enough, and it's not bonded tight enough, and I was able to stick the sponge right up under, just dab underneath the grill, and lo and behold, couldn't believe it. I was actually surprised, could not believe it. You would think that it would have not done anything. It would have just went over the white and left it white, but it didn't. As soon as I put that clear coat onto the super glue, it turned it right back to the color of the car, right back to red. I couldn't believe it. I was stunned. I couldn't believe it. So anyway, I'm going to go down here, and I don't think you guys can probably see it, but I'm going to show you a little bit of what I did. Okay, I thought I'd show you what I did, but it's just too darn dark. You can't see it anyway, but I will show you what I did. You'll be able to probably see that. And you can see this little grill here, and this is the little Ford grill, and you can see where it attaches right here to the bumper. Well, that's what I did. I put the glue right here, and some of it ran down here, and I wiped it all off and cleaned it all off, but obviously, like I said, left a little bit of a residue, and I painted over it, and then I put the clear coat on top of it. And if you look really close, I think right there where my finger's at, you can see that little spot of paint where I did it. See, a few weeks ago, I did the other ouchie I did an ouchie over there, little ouchie right there, little ouchie right there that crinkled the bumper, and you can't see that. It's getting too dark out here. But this I did. Anyway, can't really see it though. It's too dark. So, but anyway, it's getting late, and I might come back. Well, there's no need. I was going to say I might come back tomorrow and show you what I did, but it doesn't really matter. I told you what I did, and it's not that difficult to, I'm sure you've heard me talk long enough about my car. But anyway, yesterday when I was out here, I looked off into the field over there, and it was much earlier than this, and there was a deer just walking right through the field. And over here is a little walking path, which I'm not going to walk down it now. It's getting too late, but I walked right down this little path here, and this little path goes, goes right up to the water, right up to some rocks, which go right out to some water up there. But I'm not going to walk, I'm not going to walk out here and do that tonight, obviously, because it is too dark. Anyway, and I need to make my bed, get my comforter on my seat, get everything ready so that I am ready ready to just sit down and eat when I get to the truck stop. I always do that, and I think pretty much everyone I've seen, YouTubers, other people I've talked to that on my forum that do a lot of car camping and whatever, sleeping in their car, whatever, they all do the same thing. They get their bed made. They get everything ready for when they get to the truck stop. Now, or rest stop, or wherever it is they stop. Now, I know some have said that they will actually just use a female urinal and use their, just use like a bottle, and so they don't have to get out of their car. No, I'm not doing any of that. I have no issue getting out of the truck, getting out of the car, and walking inside the gas station. That's just, no, I'm not going to start that. Not even going to do that. But anyway, it is now at 16 minutes, and I'm going to get off of here, and I'm not even going to do an introduction or a wrap to this one. I'm just going to end this video right here and say good night, and I hope everyone has a good week. God bless. Peace. I hope the information I gave you might be a little useful. I know that I talked a lot. There was a lot of other stuff in between, but anyway, pretty much I talked about the car. So I hope everyone has a good week. God bless. Peace.